how do you feel about the future of our planet? I know there's folk here who care deeply about the environment and yet don't want to think about the future too much because it's just depressing when we consider the amount of damage we're doing to our world. Is there hope for it? And at the same time, should we as Christians actually care about it? After all, if we're just passing through on our way to heaven, as is sometimes said, then what's the point? Well, passages like the one from 2 Peter 3 we just had read have often been used as an excuse for people to mistreat creation because it's all going to be destroyed. But actually, when you read the Bible carefully, when you read this passage carefully, it's no excuse at all. And the Christian hope for the future might not be what you thought it was. Let's think about it for a couple of minutes. You see, there's a popular conception that our hope for the future as Christians is going to heaven when you die. And that's true, but it's only a tiny part of the story. And sometimes it has an idea tagged on that when Jesus comes back, Christians who are on the earth will leave the earth to be with him somewhere else. And that's just plain wrong. It isn't in the Bible. Let's have a quick look at 1 Thessalonians 4, which is where that idea usually comes from. And then let's go back to 2 Peter 3 and look at this passage in a bit more detail. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 then, beginning to read at verse 13. Brothers and sisters, we don't want you to be uninformed about those who sleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the rest of mankind who have no hope. For we believe that Jesus died and rose again, and so we believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep in him. So, Christians who have died are now with Jesus, and when Jesus comes back, he will bring them back with him. So they are now with Jesus in heaven, but they will come back when he comes back. According to the Lord's word, Paul continues, we tell you that we who are still alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, will certainly not precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel, with the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. After that, we who are still alive and who are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. So what's happening here? Jesus is coming back. Jesus is coming down. And when he comes back, he brings with him Christians who have died. So Christians who have died, their bodies rise from the dead. And then we, the Christians who have died and been raised, the Christians who are still alive, will meet Jesus in the air. But that isn't to go back with him to heaven, because he is coming down to earth. He's coming down to earth to reign, and the Christians come and meet him in the air to welcome him to earth. Look at Revelation 21 for a moment. What happens in Revelation 21? There is a new heavens and a new earth. We'll get to that in a minute. And the new Jerusalem comes down out of heaven from God to the new earth. And we're told that now the dwelling of God will be with people. Where do we live in that setup? We live on the new earth. We as Christians constitute the new Jerusalem. The new earth is blessed and transformed by God's presence and by the presence of the new Jerusalem there. This isn't some disembodied sitting on a cloud hope. This is a hope of living with new resurrection bodies on a new earth. It's the same in 2 Peter 3. In keeping with his promise, Peter writes, we are looking forward to a new heaven and a new earth where righteousness dwells. Our eventual future is a physical existence on the new earth. But what does that mean? Well, the name itself tells us there's a level of continuity with this present earth. It isn't called the planet Kolob, but there's also a level of discontinuity too. It's the new earth. And the word translated new isn't the word for recently made, new. It's the word for fresh, unworn. It's a fresh earth, rather than necessarily a replacement one. And if we look at 2 Peter 3 again, we get some more hints. We're told about destruction by fire and elements melting. Except our elements isn't quite the right translation. Peter didn't have any conception of modern chemistry. It's much more like the spiritual powers, the core realities of the world that melt here. And the language used of the fire is the language used elsewhere of a silversmith refining metal. It's a refining fire, not a destroying fire. We're told that Noah's flood destroyed the world. But even if we take the old school global flood approach, that's not what we call complete destruction, is it? It's a wiping clean. It's a fresh start. That's the picture here. Colossians 1 verse 20 talks about God reconciling all creation to himself through the cross. That just as we get new bodies which will be recognisably us but refined and fixed and made new and fresh, so the whole creation will be refined and fixed and made new by God. And it will no longer be subject to our destruction and pollution. We're told in 2 Peter 3:13, this will be where righteousness dwells. Not just where righteousness comes to visit from time to time, but the whole new earth will be somewhere where we live in perfect relationship with God and with this world. That's what righteousness is, as we've seen earlier in this series. We can therefore expect the new creation will contain many of the same wonderful things that the present creation contains, but unbroken and restored, and perhaps with even greater wonders yet to see. So do you want to see the Iguazu Falls, the Northern Lights, the Great Barrier Reef when it isn't dying, polar bears, orangutans, scarlet macaws in their natural environment? There will be plenty of time for that in eternity. And if that's the Christian hope for the future, what does it mean for us? Well, it means that when we see the destruction of creation, we don't need to despair. It means there is real hope for this world, even if people do nothing now, because God will come and will act and will restore it. It's like our bodies. Sometimes when I talk to someone whose leg has given up and they're never going to be able to run again, they remind me that they will get a new leg in the new creation. And the same is true of the natural world. There will be a new Great Barrier Reef, even better than the one that is dying. Even if some species of animal go extinct, God will make all things new. So in the face of environmental destruction, we don't need to despair. But we also see the natural world really matters. It's not just part of the first creation, it's part of the new creation as well. And our eternity is going to be spent in physical bodies interacting with a renewed version of our physical creation. Does the promise of having new bodies mean we mistreat the ones we have now? No. It means we enjoy them because we see they really matter. You see, the way that Christianity often works is that we have this new creation living inside ourselves, don't we? From when we start trusting in Christ. And even though the old is still here, we have glimpses of the new. We start to see our lives being made more like Jesus. And we're called to lean into that, to lean into the new, to live as a little pocket of God's new creation in the midst of the old. But as we've seen, the new creation isn't just about our relationship with God, though that's obviously key. It isn't just about our relationships with each other, though they are important too. It's about our relationship with the natural world, which will also be restored. So as Christian individuals at home, as a Christian community out in the world, we're called to start to live in a way that is more in tune with creation. And yes, we can't get everything perfect now because we still live in a broken world, just as we can't get everything perfect in our relationships with each other, but we still work at it. We still try. Peter writes that we ought to live holy and godly lives as we look forward to the day of God. We're meant to be a foretaste of the new creation in the here and now, because we've been given that new life that begun in us when we started to trust in Jesus, right here alongside the old. And so we as individuals and as the church are meant to begin to reflect a little bit of this new creation in the midst of the old, so people can look at us, can look at what God is doing in us and with us and for us, and what he can do for them so that they too can come to put their trust in Jesus. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the hope of a new creation. Father, thank you for all the wonders of this present creation that we can enjoy. Father, thank you that even though we sometimes just seem set on destroying it, yet you will make it new. Father, you will restore, you will refresh. Thank thank you so much. Thank you for the hope that we have in you. Father, thank you too for the new life you have given us, for the new creation you've started in us in the midst of the old. And Father, we do pray for wisdom for us as individuals. We pray for wisdom for us as a community to see something of what that looks like, to see how we can be modeling your new creation in our relationships with one another, in our relationship with you, and in our relationship with the natural world as well. Father, particularly give us wisdom there. Help us to see how to live that out in our lives. And help us to rejoice in you, in what you have done for us, in what you will do for us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.